Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode here on the Hermitcraft Amplified server. As you can see, monstrous amounts of lag. Let's try and move the camera angle around. This is not 60 frames per second. Oh no. But here's the thing, we're going to go into options, we're going to go into our video settings and turn off the particle effects. Let's put them all the way down to minimal and straight away our frames come back. Look at it. Perfect 60 frames per second now. Actually, it feels a little bit less than that. Interesting, it was absolutely fine before I turned particle effects back on. But anyway, I've been doing some AFK farming, came back to my computer, had about 1 frame a minute, and managed to turn off the particle effects, which made a massive difference. It's a little bit strange, it hasn't gone back up to 60 right now, but whatever. Let's crush these guys, let's give them some punches, and collect some more blaze rods, which is what I've been doing till no end. So somewhere, somehow, sometimes in the farm, some of these guys take damage, and you see a few die every time you crush them. That's a little bit of a mystery to me as to how that happens. But anyway, we've crushed a whole bunch. I've been crushing loads. We've got more than enough blaze rods, I think. We're probably never going to get through all of those. And now they've all been made aggressive. This is another problem with the... Oh, that was my fault. It was still crushing. Yes, that's a good point. Don't hit these blazes when it's still crushing. And I think they're attacking me and therefore doing damage to each other. Oh look, they're all charging at the same time because they all became aggressive together. This is actually quite interesting. So yeah, when I hit one, they all became aggressive and now they're all sort of shooting at similar times. And they're killing each other too. It is really, really strange. Anyway, there's a bunch here that we can still hit so we can get some more blaze rods. But yes, that is a problem with this farm. That sometimes happens after the crusher's finished. Although I'm now wondering... is it me not paying enough attention to the crusher? Because it was being a little bit slow and it was still crushing. Maybe the server is laggy at the moment. Anyway, we've got a whole bunch of things to do here with the farm this episode. I'm going to try and figure out what to do here. We've got a lot of blazes to kill. Because now that they're aggressive, they're not going to come down into this area. So I'll do a little bit more farming and then we'll move on to what we're doing this episode. And we are going to be making a tunnel that goes to the blaze farm. So it drops down here, it goes off to the right a fair bit and then goes right again. And then we're going to go up for a minecart elevator up to the blaze farm. That's a little bit of an indirect route. However, it's below the lava lake, which is important. We don't want to be digging up loads of lava again. That takes a long, long time. And it was nicely situated in the room back there. But anyway, this point right here is directly below the blaze farm. We're going to do one of the monkey farm elevators with the minecart, so you just right click on them and you can whiz all the way up to the top. And what's cool about those ones is that they leave no spawnable spaces whatsoever. So all of this right here, actually this needs to be spawn proof. I kind of picture me putting some flat blocks on the ground, but I guess we'll put stairs and maybe slabs in the middle, something like that. But the idea here is that we're going to build a tunnel, and it's just going to be a very simple and straightforward one, you know, nothing fancy on the walls, just a 3x3 tunnel, and that means I get to do a little bit of aesthetic work, which is always fun. Not what I was expecting to do, but anyway, when we go around the corner here, you can see that I've situated this in the middle of the room, which I think is really nice actually, because what we're going to do when we build our tunnel to this place is put a new minecart system up in the top area up there. I've designed one, it's going to fit into that area, and it means when you come into this place you can drop down into the middle of this room. Then you've got access to the dogs on either side. You've got the chests over there, the nether portal, the farm up top, and behind you the blaze farm. So it's kind of an ideal spot for this to be. But anyway, if you remember, in this area there was actually a minecart elevator, and there it is right there. I've started dismantling that because pigmen were always spawning on it, which was annoying, and occasionally we would see them sort of stuck in the minecart. They used to get caught up over here. And yeah, all of this right here is going to go, by the way. So we used to have this track, and I do wonder about this. We've got a 1 high space here. All of this is going to get filled in, and I often wonder if magma cubes can actually spawn in there. I mean, I've never seen one or heard one, but it'd be kind of hard to see one because they'd be under these slabs all the time. But yeah, this is all going to get filled in because there's like 1 or 2 spots where the pigmen can spawn. And if you remember, there's actually a station hidden under here, and it was a pretty cool one as well. So for those of you that haven't seen it before, I'll explain it quickly. You press a button on the side. Let's see it in action actually. It drops down a minecart. Apparently it's out of minecarts. So that lands on this block. You can right click on it to get in. Then this retracts, you fall down below and you get sent on your way. And then when you're coming into the station, it takes your minecart down here, and using like a slime block launcher, it sort of removes the blocks and shoots you up here, and you land and you're like, well, hey, I'm in the base or whatever. So we're going to be dismantling all of that redstone later on. As of right now, I should probably be focusing on the tunnel and trying to come up with a tunnel design. So nothing here is going to be, anything spectacular, just placing down blocks until I get something I like. And I think I'd like to use a lot of redstone here. Never really see it being used that excessively in a build. It looks good with the nether brick as well, so maybe that'll do for the tunnel. Or possibly some gold. That would be a colour that would suit the blaze, so I might put some gold blocks in here as well. But we're probably going to go with something redstone heavy. And I've just been placing down a few different patterns, trying to come up with something I like. Of course, none of these are going to be works of art, but it's just interesting to place them down. This one here I especially don't like. But anyway, before I did that, I was working on the lighting, and sometimes this can be so annoying, especially when you're working on a long tunnel, because you want these to be spaced out nice and even. And I started off with a block here, and then in the same corner position at the opposite end, a block down there, and going back and forth, just placing blocks every so often with an equal distance between them. I was trying to figure out the optimal lighting, and no matter what I do, it just wouldn't line up. And what I ended up doing is actually just shifting it over a little bit. So rather than starting right here in the corner, we move it over to here, and then where this starts, we have two. Wait, is that 3? Oh, it's wrong. Wait a minute, what's gone on here? I thought I got this right. So this is in line with that little bit right there, as it should be at the other end. There's 2 blocks between each of all of these. Please don't tell me it's actually wrong. Aha, right, yes. So I told myself that I needed to move all the blocks that I placed over by 1, and I didn't. So you can see here that these are 1 block apart, and at the other end there's 3. Oh, I've got to shift them all over by 1 block. But anyway, the point that I was making is that if ever you have trouble getting those things to line up, maybe move where they start from. So rather than starting in the corner here, I moved it over to there, or there even, at either end, and then that meant that they would be equal distance all the way down. So when we go around the corner, it's just going to start on the same position on the next side, and we don't have to worry about where this ends really, because we're going to have our minecart elevator down here. So I got to take a trip back to get some redstone blocks, some gold ones as well. And when I come back here, I've got to move all of these over by 1 block. How annoying. How silly of me. So this is what we're going to go for in the tunnel. We've gone from thinking about patterns and doing something a little bit interesting to just the simplest of designs, but it works and I like it. And if we go around the corner here, you can see that I was trying the redstone at the top and bottom, and that was actually really powerful. I felt that kind of overdid the reds in the tunnel. Although now that I come back here, I do actually like that one as well. And we've got the stripes sort of coming up the side here, which looks cool. But I also threw in a little bit of gold, and to be honest, I really don't think it works in here. It just doesn't mix with the nether brick or the redstone that well. So we're not going to think about it too much. It would have been nice to have gold. Maybe we'll find somewhere else to chuck that in, since I brought a whole bunch of it with me. For now, what we're going to do is stick to this. This will be our final design, so we don't have to talk any more about the design of this nether tunnel, and we can move on to connecting it to the blaze farm. So I've been running up and down this tunnel, and I love it. It's clean, it's simple, and sometimes that's really all you need. However, I have been wondering, do I want to mirror what we've got on the floor in the ceiling? And I think this looks pretty cool. So I might go back and redo the ceiling. If I do, that's something you'll notice. We don't need to talk about that again. What we're doing now is building the elevator. So I take note of the coordinates when I was up at the blaze farm, and this is directly below where we want to have our entrance. I hope. If I've got it off by 1 block, I'm going to scream. But yeah, here we go. So we can right click on this minecart and then we hop up, and now we need to build the rest of it. So I've got a fire resistance potion. I'm going to drink it right now because now we need to dig up, and I've got a feeling this might end in disaster. Nether brick. Oh, lava. There it is. And does that destroy the minecart? It should do. And it won't go down any further because there's a ladder there. And of course, we all know that ladders, which are made out of wood, don't get set on fire. So that destroyed our minecart. Yeah, we want to build a little pillar thing going up here. So there was some nether brick, which was a little bit unexpected, got to say. Maybe that was a bit of nether fortress. Anyway, here's my idea. Wow, this is going to be awkward to do. I want to just fill this all up bit by bit. So the bottom side of lava still looks strange. Can we really see what we're doing here? Oh, that's the floor of the nether right there. Is there a nether fortress here? There is. Excellent. Okay, so as we go up, what we also need to do is fill in the middle as well. And the reason for that is because as we fill in these sides and place down nether brick, we're going to be removing the lava there, but not in the middle. Actually, what we'll probably do is just go all the way up to the surface like this. This is going to be no bother now. And then we can make our way down using netherrack to fill all of it in and removing it as we go. Excellent. So that gets rid of the lava that's now in the tunnel. And we're going to bring this up to the surface. There we go. And what I want to do from here is then use glass. However, we can't place glass on ladders, so we're going to have the occasional nether brick block, and we're going to use the same colour glass that goes up there. That was annoying. Now I've got to go fetch some lava to fill that in because I don't like those inconsistencies. Yeah, if we look directly up, we are in line with it. We're in the middle, and we're below that block there, which is exactly where I wanted to go. So we've done this correctly, and now we can head back down and finish building this. So when I was digging the tunnel down below, I could have made it one block higher, and if I had, this would have been perfect, in line with the floor, but you know what, I'm not fussed. This is cool. We now got a strip of these minecart things coming up out of the lava from down below, and I think it looks really cool. I like that you can actually see the minecarts, and it's surrounded in glass, which is something you don't often see. So that's our way to get up here to the blaze farm, which is currently disabled. Now we're going to do a little bit of a test to see if this works. So I'm anticipating that we might have a problem when we get to the top. So getting down is absolutely fine. That's no problem at all. And then to get up, I've measured this out, so it should be the same as other ones I've built before. We get all the way to the top, and then we shift click, and we fall down there. Okay, I was thinking we might get dropped outside. Okay, so this time we're going to hold down forward as we press shift, and then we can pop out like that. That's okay. I was kind of hoping that we wouldn't fall into the lava, which we didn't, so that's good. And it just means you've got to hold down forward. I bet you that's going to catch someone out at some point. Let's hop into the one below. So you come up here, you hold down shift, you start falling, maybe you press forwards as a reaction, and you can still get out of there. I'm happy with that then. That works for me. I think what I might also do is put the glass in like this. Yeah, just so it's a little less, you know, there taking up the space, so to speak. So that works just fine by me. And I guess that's the tunnel done. That's this done as well. And we've got to work on the tunnel entrance next, because that needs a bit of a transition. At the moment there's all of that sand there and it doesn't look very good. So I think I found a technique here that is totally worth mentioning. As you can see, lots of lava flowing into the tunnel. That's because I've had it coming down the side of where the sand is right here. Now what I've been trying to do is time my right click, but actually if you click left first then right click, when the block is broken, it places two blocks like this, which is very convenient. So I'm going to do that once more. I'm holding down right click, and basically it does it instantly. You also get this extra one in front, and I guess if you stand, like, I'm not sure if I'm inside, there we go, we're probably inside where the block would be. I'm holding down right click, then it can't place the second one. So that is extremely useful. I wish I'd have figured that one out a little bit earlier. That's a really nice little trick there for when you need to instantly replace sand. And yes, you can see the tunnel here is almost done now. We've just got to finish this bit up. Okay, we're now going to be doing a lot of cleaning up. Just realised we've got to do this stuff back here and down there. Got to fill all of that in. But I finished the tunnel now, and what this really needs is a sign above it. And I was going to put that there, but the ladder we also need. So I'll put that there for now. That's just going to say Blaze Farm. I'm going to put it like behind one of these blocks. But we need to use the ladder to get up to the top here. So this is where the Nether tunnel is going to go. I know it's been a long time talking about it, but we will get around to doing it. And then on the side here is where like this sort of minecart station entrance thing, whatever you want to call it, is going to be. So now I just want to do a little bit of tidying up over here, which means I'm going to do some classic swimming in lava, which many of you have probably seen us do in the live streams, so that we can cover all of this up and keep the lovely looking lava lake as it is. So we've got a little bit to do right here. The pigmen, as you can see, are spawning on there, which does affect the rates. So removing a few spawn spaces is fine, and we got this bit back here to do as well. But also you can get a view of the tower, or the the Blaze Farm. I do want to turn it into a tower from over here. We need to tidy up those paths that we left on the side there, and I've got to say it looks pretty cool. The angle sort of makes it look like this bit right here is over to the left, and I think when it comes to a tower, it doesn't really need too much other than some supports at the bottom, but I'm really not sure what I'm going to do there. Eventually I want that to look a lot cooler than it does, although I'm surprised as to how alright it looks from over here. Yeah, anyway, right, I'm going to start filling this all in with lava and tidying up the mess that we've made. So taking apart this thing feels like a real shame, a waste of redstone, but it reminded me that we're going to be building a new type of station here, and that's probably what we're actually going to do next. So after I've cleaned this out, we're going to build another station, which is going to go up in the top area up here. I'm not sure how it's going to fit in actually, but the station is going to be really cool. It's very well designed, already done all of that stuff already. Let's stick our head up here though, because I finished tidying this up. So no more zombie pigmen will be spawning up here. You can see the lava lake has all been filled in. That is a really annoying OCD thing, and I'll tell you what, when we get to the next bit, which is that big island over there, not even going to bother, just going to leave it be however it is. We've also got a little island over there and floaty bits that could really do with clearing out. And actually over in that direction there's some areas that really need slabbing, so depending on how much time we get through with this episode, we might do a little bit of that as well, help improve the rates of our farm, because this thing's still got a long way to go. I know it was built a long time ago, but those things, you know, they still make a difference, so they're worth doing. Yeah, anyway, I'm going to get all of this cleared up. So the redstone back here has been cleaned up. You can see there's nothing on top, there's nothing down the sides, and below all of these slabs it's all been removed and filled in, which is good stuff. So if we head over here, you can see that I put the station in at the top, and yes, nothing too much to look at the moment. Of course, what we would do is box all of this thing in and make it look nice, but I've been thinking I don't actually want to go with this right here anymore, and I'll show you what exactly it is, how it works and all of that. But it takes up a lot of space up the top here, and it really does look ugly. I didn't think it would look quite this bad. And walking alongside here, you can see some of the redstone. Doesn't really look that great, does it? And I've been thinking, you know, we always go for these redstone solutions. Maybe there's times when doing things manually is just a little bit better. So we'll come back to that fort in a second. I do want to show you how this works. This is like the one that's over at XB's base. So there is some redstone behind here that controls over this. And basically there'll always be a minecart there. You can click on it, and then it'll send you on your way, and a moment later it will dispense another minecart onto the track, so when you get back here you can use it again. Now the way the tracks are arranged here means when you're coming in, it goes off to this side, picks it up and puts it into the machine, which is pretty cool. So the way it works, with a little bit of redstone behind there that I can't really show you without tearing this thing apart, we basically have a signal that goes around and powers the block behind that minecart. Now what's interesting about this is that it powers the rail in front of it. It's also bud powering the dispenser, and when it powers the rail it provides it with an update, so it will actually activate the dispenser as well. So we have another signal that branches off that's inverted using a torch, and that is powering the dispenser. So right now the dispenser is powered, and then when we activate the tripwire we're going to power that first of all, and the thing down below is already powered, and then a moment later it's going to unpower and power again. And why it hasn't done anything. Okay, it's out of minecart, so I've picked these all up where I've been testing it. Let's do that once more. So it's already powered, the powered rail gets activated, doesn't mean the dispenser gets activated, then a moment later it does, which is really cool. But what I'm thinking is that maybe if we just had like one piece of cactus right here and a little pad to sort of arrive on and then go down a ladder to the area down below, you could pick up the minecart yourself and, you know, put it in your inventory and use it to get back later. I think all of this basically, although it's nice, this isn't the time to use it. We want something simple and clean at the top here. So I am now, after spending ages building it, I'm going to tear it out. So that's literally going to be it. It's a lot smaller, it's definitely not something special to look at, but it's not so intruding into this room. You know, it still feels big and open, and yeah, all that time spent redstoning, and then I decide, hey, actually let's keep things simple so it can be nice and small. And so that's literally it. I could have made this a bit smaller, but when you hit the cactus, you're going to get dropped off all over the place, and sometimes you sort of fall down over here and hit the ground, which, you know, probably isn't going to be an issue, but that's never a good thing to take damage, so decided to rule against that one. So I think we're done in the nether for today's episode. I've come back here to the base to make a few tweaks and changes. As always, you guys have been tweeting me loads and loads of different pixel art suggestions for these ones over here, and I now think we can say that we're finished. I haven't changed the carrot or the golden carrot. I did actually get a lot of tweets about those. Some of them adding in a lot more blocks like the gold one here, you know, to have more detail and colour going on. But I think the golden carrot and the carrot is very obvious what they are, and it doesn't really need too much of a tweak. So the pufferfish looks great, and thanks to your tweets we've got a new spider eye design over here and also a fermented spider eye design, which still I think could be a little bit better, but I'm going to say I'm happy with that, and that's going to be that side finished, and that's both of our sides, which means all the pixel art is done. So thank you everyone for tweeting me suggestions and ideas and stuff, and now we've done it, we've finished it, which is really cool. So I do just want to mention at the end of this video that this sorting system is fantastic. I just unloaded all of my inventory into here, which is so convenient, and at the moment it's all being sorted. And so since we probably last talked about this, I have made sure that when using this I don't log out or back in again. or I don't go through the nether, and I've never seen it broken, so it seems to work absolutely fine 100%. Just don't log out or go through to the nether, and I love it. It's coming along really, really well. But for the end of this episode, I do just want to mention the UHC that's running on my second channel. Now, I put out a video on this one. You've probably heard about it before. But I want to push it again just because it's so good. It's so much fun that we had together. And right now, the episodes are coming to the point where it's just me and the Hermits hanging out post-game, having a laugh together and commentating on all the UHC PvP action that's going down. And it really reminded me of old days of Hermitcraft, you know, and I've seen a few other people commenting on how they just love listening to us hang out. So I thought I'd mention that, and there'll be a link to the latest episode down there in the description box if you do want to check it out. If you're a fan of Hermitcraft and you like seeing me and the other Hermits together, I do think you would really enjoy it. But anyway, that's going to be it from me this episode. Next episode, we're going to be coming back over here. I'm not going to be in the nether because I have something that I want to do over here, and it involves something behind me in the distance. That's all I say. Anyway, I'll see you in the next episode. So as always, thank you ever so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Bye bye.